Yo, what is up YouTube? It is your boy Triz back at you with another video. And today guys, I'm bringing you a top 5 best tips. At least my best tips in my opinion for this game. And this can help you improve your gameplay tremendously. I follow these tips every time when playing. So yeah, I mean it helps me out, and these are tips that I really keyed in on when I was first starting playing Call of Duty, and I really did not know what to do. I had to learn, obviously, and I would also look up tips and tricks videos, and people would tell me these same tips, so I'm going to give this to you guys as well. So let's get straight into the video. Number 1, this is a huge tip, and it is find a sensitivity you are comfortable with. This is a tip that, the reason why I have a number 1 is because it's huge. It's so important to have a sensitivity that you're comfortable with. Some people play on a high sensitivity because they think it's cool, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Play on a sensitivity you're comfortable with, because that will ultimately decide if you hit your shots or not, really, to be honest, right? So if you do not play on a sensitivity you're comfortable with, you will not be able to hit your shots. So keep a sensitivity that you can play with and consistently make your shots. You don't want it to be too slow, and it shouldn't be too fast. It should feel, basically, to describe it, to find your perfect sensitivity, usually it should feel slow, but it also should not feel fast. There's a sweet spot, but I'll make another video going more in depth on finding sensitivities and stuff for you guys, if you guys would like. Now let's get into tip number 2. Tip number 2, play with a gun or any guns that you are comfortable with and that you know you can do well with. This is another huge important tip, because if you don't play with guns that you're comfortable with and guns that you do well with, that you already do well with, yeah, it's iffy if you play with a different gun, you know, because you're bringing out your comfort zone and you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes, well, I mean, obviously you know what you're doing, but you're not comfortable with that gun. So stay with guns that you're comfortable with, stay with guns that you know you do well with, and that will improve your gameplay a lot. Tip number 3. Use score streaks that help you and your team. Obviously run UAVs. UAVs are spammed in this game, so use UAVs. Use it. It's one of my biggest tips. Always run a UAV on your score streaks, and then you can run other two, whatever score streaks you want. It really doesn't matter. Just always run a UAV. It's a huge help. Number 4, excuse me. Pre-aim around corners where you know enemies are going to be. That's another huge tip. This one was also when I played competitive. This was also a huge tip that you had to do. It was always a must. But usually when you play competitively, you know where the enemy's going to be, so you really don't. You really didn't have to pre-aim as much as in pubs, because pubs are a little bit less fluid. I mean, they don't have as much of a flow as a competitive match would, so they could be anywhere at any point at any time. So, but my point is, and my tip is, pre-aim where you think enemies will be. Center yourself. Now centering is when you, so you see your little crosshairs, the 4 little things that spread out wider for your hip fire spray. That's called crosshairs. The things, the 4 little cross things in the middle of my screen right now. Those are crosshairs, and when you're going around a corner, you want to keep those in the center of your screen, and you want to aim them upwards almost, because when you aim them upwards, you'll be able to snap onto people, and usually they're in the center of your screen. The reason you want that is because when you're coming around a corner and you're not pre-aimed, you should be able to snap onto them, onto their chest or even their head, and that's why you want them higher up, because it will give you kills much easier instead of having to. And this is another tip. Do not get caught sprinting a lot. It's one of the biggest tips I can give you in this game, since especially that we're returning back to boots on the ground in this year. Before, I got caught running a lot in the beginning of this game, but I changed my playstyle and adapted. And last but not least, tip number 5 would be pay attention to the mini-map. The circle that I have in the top left of my corner of my screen right now, pay attention to it. Trust me, it will help you tremendously. It shows you where everybody shoots. Obviously, you probably would already know that if you play Call of Duty, but just You would not believe how many people don't pay attention to their minimap. Just use it and make sure you use it a lot. It'll be your best friend, trust me. And that's also going back to my tip number 3. Use UAVs, because if you use UAVs, you will always know where the enemy is. UAVs are very, very strong in this game because not too many people use mountain, and that's the only thing that like hides you from UAV. It's like Ghost in this game. So yeah, use UAVs, pay attention to your minimap, and trust me, that will do a lot for you. So besides that, guys, I think that's really all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed. Please drop a like if these tips did help you at all. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.